can do as a person, what your children can do, what your family can do, what your business can do, what your industry can do. The sky's the limit if you don't let people put those limitations on you. So I've come up with this model that I've used in my life, and I wanted to share with you as kind of a gift of knowledge of 30 years in the business, working domestically and internationally, about the way I think things should work. And the first thing I would tell you, the same thing I tell young people when I talk to them in the school, is dream big. Dream big, and don't let anybody put limitations on what you can do. Believe in yourself. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. It's not going to be easy, but if you can dream it, you can achieve it. And how to achieve it, I call on these pillars that I think are what hold up your dreams and make them a reality. And the first one is that you may have great aspirations and a great dream, but you've got to develop a winning game plan, a plan that gets you there. So if you want to be a doctor, you better go to med school. You better really work hard. If you want to be a veterinarian, you better be good with animals and pets and things of that nature. There's so many times that I talk to young people, and they have a dream, but they have not planned how to get there. And so you need to make sure that you have a good plan to get there. It doesn't happen by accident. And hoping and wishing is not a strategy. The second thing is you have to be able to take risks. If you're comfortable in your environment, and I tell you with Hispanics, I think we've got to be really careful that you're not comfortable living in San Antonio or living in Miami or living in New York, where you have a large community of Hispanics that are surrounding you. Sometimes you get too comfortable with that, and if you never leave your comfort zone and take a risk of starting anew and learning, you may not be the best person you can be. I don't ever kind of challenge people on what they do, but I'm telling you that you've got to be able to push yourself to places that make you feel uncomfortable, because that's when you do your best learning. Third piece is, even if you have a great dream, even if you have a great plan, even if you're willing to take a risk, you better be really good at overcoming obstacles, because every plan I've ever laid out had obstacles in its way. So you've got to be able to persevere and really strongly work hard and sacrifice to be able to achieve your dreams. And finally, you have to be able to see and seize the opportunities that are in front of you. A lot of people have opportunities all around them, and they never see them. They never see them. My experience on opportunities are really problems in disguise. When you have a problem, inside every problem there is opportunity if you would look and seize it. And if you do, I guarantee you that the sky is the limit. You will be able to achieve your dreams. So what I wanted to do is give you a few examples of just how this model works when doing things that people in many cases thought were hard or impossible or extremely hard to do. And one of those has to do with the story of rebooting at AT&T. You see, I happened to get to AT&T after working in Latin America on January of 2004. On February the 17th, we decided to merge with AT&T Wireless in the largest all-cash transaction in the history of the U.S., $41 billion in cash. Well, you can imagine that your parent company doesn't spend $41 billion in cash lightly, so they were expecting big results. Well, here's the challenge. We had at the time 30,000 employees each. We had over 20 million customers each in each company. We were competitors, so we couldn't talk to each other before the merger. We had to agree on the deal, but then the deal had to be approved by the FCC and the Department of Justice. We had to blend the brands, the cultures, and the technologies. Our plan was to get the merger completed by the 1st of October. So we agreed to buy them on February the 17th. We thought by the beginning of October, we would be able to give the FCC and the DOJ enough time to get the merger approved. And then we would have 45 days from October 1st to November the 15th to launch the new company. We would have 45 days to do the training, to get these companies to act like one as we go through the fourth quarter, which is the most critical quarter for wireless in the year. We sell 30 to 40% of our sales in that fourth quarter. So if you have a bad fourth quarter, you really have a bad year. And so we had all this plan laid out, like the framework said. We had a great plan. We planned it for 8 months. Well, guess what? the FCC and the DOJ, even though they gave us a very fast approval, were on their timetable, not ours. So we got approval to do the merger on October the 26th. So we still had a November the 15th deadline. That's 19 days, October the 26th to November the 15th. We had to get 30,000 people in each company that had never even met each other to work as one. We had to put in a new point of sale system. We had to train 100,000 employees in those 19 days. And the question for me at the time was, okay, you had a plan for 45. Can you do it in 19? Felt like I can name that tune in 2. That was a very, I call that an inflection point where, things are changing so fast that you felt like you were at a very critical point in your career and in your life. I told our CEO at the time, Stan Sigman, we can do it. But we don't have a day to spare. We got exactly 19 days. We had to then, at the point in time, just do a little bit of rebooting, right? You have a plan that is 45 days, and all of a sudden you have 19 days. Whatever you have done, you've got to say, okay, time out. So what did we do? We took 18 months to plan it, but we did execute it in 19 days. We trained 100,000 people in 19 days. 100,000 people. We converted 1,100 AT&T wireless stores at the time to singular wireless stores in one night. The last night before that opening on the 15th, we had to convert 1,100 AT&T stores. We closed the stores on Sunday night at 6 o'clock, and we had to open them the next day on Monday at 8 o'clock. So we had all of our teams in 1,100 stores doing a complete makeover, taking the wallpaper off, putting the new point of sale system, putting in the new handsets. We had it also well planned that we knew that our associates in those stores could not go to have dinner that night because there wouldn't be enough time. So we gave them all Domino's pizza coupons so they could bring pizzas into the stores. Right? You can imagine Domino's Pizza getting over 1,100 orders. They had a good night that night, but you know what? This is a picture of actually the store that I helped to remodel because I believe in getting engaged with our people. So I was in the store that night when we finished it around 11 o'clock at night, and we all had a great thing because it was a lot of hard work putting it together. But the bottom line is when we did that, we had the greatest quarter in our company's history and the single greatest quarter in wireless in the history of wireless in the U.S. at that time. So we control, alt-deleted, and we succeeded. Okay? That's one story. So now you're probably wondering, well, wait a minute, this guy took the AT&T wireless stores and he converted them to singular, but now singular is AT&T again. I am not going to try to explain that. I brought some help. So I'm going to show you a little video from Stephen Colbert to explain this to you. Let's roll that video.
Big news in the telecom industry. Cingular is changing its name to AT&T. It is a crushing blow to those of us who have come to love the Cingular trademark, whatever the hell that is. As you no doubt remember, Cingular was co-owned by Bell South and SBC, which had been Southwestern Bell and Ameritech, which before that had been Illinois Bell, Wisconsin Bell, Michigan Bell, Ohio Bell, and Indiana Bell. All of those used to be AT&T. A couple of years ago, Cingular bought AT&T Wireless and renamed it Cingular, but then SBC bought AT&T and changed its own name to AT&T. Then that new AT&T bought Bell South, changing its name to AT&T, making it only logical to turn Cingular into AT&T. And down here, too.
I thought you would enjoy the challenges that we had because we know how to rebrand, right? We know how to rebrand in this business. Okay, let me talk to you another story about rebooting, and this is a great story about the iPhone. I'll be brief to make sure we have enough time for Q&As here. But, you know, the iPhone was one of the most breakthrough devices, I think, in the history of wireless. Absolutely a great device. This is when we did the deal with Apple, was the first deal of its kind. And in order to do that deal, we had to throw out all the rules that we knew about how the business ran, the business